What's going on? My name's Justin from the Art of Repair, and we're doing it again. We're out here in the field having fun, visiting repair shops all over the Netherlands on our little mini European tour. Don't worry, because I will be going to other countries as well as time goes on. But I've got a little bit of story to tell you today. I was a little bit confused when I came to this repair shop today. I got out of my car and, I was reviewing my notes, making sure I knew what was going on before I came in, seeing what the dealio was, and I was like, something's not right here. There's a repair shop here, but it's got a different name. And as I'm standing here looking at the repair shop, which is called Telecom Service Asten, I notice right here that we've got smartphone, I can't say it, repair Asten. And I realized it had the exact same logo, and I was like, oh my goodness, I think they just rebranded. And I do believe that Telecom Service is actually a little more universal. I've always been kind of weird about the whole putting iPhone or Apple in the name of your repair shop. I feel like it's very limiting, but check it out. Look at the front of this place. It is open, ready to go, and I guess people are just honking for no reason. But either way, y'all know what the deal is. We're at Telecom Service in Asten, and I will catch y'all inside for the inside tour. Let's do it. I'll see y'all in a moment. All right, y'all know what the deal is. We're gonna head on inside. We're gonna take a look and see what they got going on in here. That way, if for some reason you see something super cool that you can apply in your own shop, well, here you go. Take some ideas. We're all friends here. We're all just trying to have a good time and help everybody else in the community. So check out the shop. Look what we got. We got the standards. We got the cases. We got the used phones and these really nice, look at these nice cases. You do not see dust in these things. Just beautiful. Matching color on the open side. I really like the color coordination here. Look at that. This is it's like somebody used to work for T-Mobile in here and decided that magenta just was not enough. I'm gonna be real. I'm a big fan of blue. It's basically my favorite color, so I'm maybe a little biased here, but I do love the blue that they got going on here. They got a really nice accessory wall here with everything really nicely stocked and set up on here. They've got good graphics. They've got good lighting. This is definitely one of those places that you want to be taking cues from. Look at this. I'll be real, this is one of my favorite things here. Not only is this an iPhone table, right? But no detail was missed. We've even got the antenna lines. We've even got the power button. Y'all have got to be kidding me. This thing is awesome. And technically, if they kind of redo the iPhone 14 the way we were thinking, or at least the way that we're seeing with these leaks, that it'll kind of look like an iPhone 4. I mean, when you open any of the new iPhones, you can already see that they're moving toward that kind of internal setup again. They can technically just take off this graphic and make it the new one and go all the way to the edge as soon as they remove the notch. You know what I mean? As soon as they remove the notch. But with that, let's keep on down through here. Let's see what we got going on. We got that nice front center here, and just like all the other shops, we do have that open kitchen kind of concept where you can kind of see what's going on here. You know they're professional. Look at the ESD. ESD. You see what I'm saying? Ooh, look at this. We got a cool clock. I'm just kidding. Check out this video. They have taken the time to make their own custom videos so that people can see what's going on in here. Look at that 3D. Wah. Man, I'm talking about details, you know what I'm saying? We got the nice front up here, and we're actually gonna do something else here real quick. We got all kind of stuff going on back there, but there's a reason that says no entry. We're gonna do it. Dun, 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 dun. We're in the stock room, you know what I'm saying? Going through here. They actually have a really nice setup for the stock room. Just in general, lots of different organizational points and everything like that. But we're actually sneaking through here so that I can show you something else. This is something that I was not expecting to see at this repair shop. I'm talking about, I turned the corner and my entire thought process around this place was just exploded. I was like, oh my goodness, these guys are kind of light years ahead of the people around them. So what is it that they have here? Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Oh my goodness, we have proper refurbishing. And not only do we have proper refurbishing, but these guys actually know what they're doing. They can actually do this stuff. I do believe that they used to be an Oka Master dealer, so they've got all the knowledge. They've got all this stuff going on. This is all current stuff that they're working on. As soon as they get a couple screens, they come back here and they set it all up and they do it. And you might be asking yourself, well, Justin, that looks like one of those cheap Chinese little clean room things. But there are some fine details here that y'all need to pay attention to, ladies and gentlemen. Check this out. This actually is a real positive pressure clean room setup. There are multiple different HEPA filters up here that are actually producing positive pressure in the room. So as long as you come in here clean and do your thing, ooh, I tell you what, this is going to be a nice place to get some work done if you need clean stuff, you know what I mean? So let's sneak back out here. There we go. Let's climb back through here and head back to the lab. All right. Man, look at the accent lights. I'm talking about small details everywhere you go. Did you design this all yourself, or did you have a company with you? When you did all the design out here, was that all you? Or did you have a company help?
No, the company.
Oh, they came and helped, and they kind of helped design it and everything?
Yes.
That's awesome. Hey, you know, work with your community. All right, so let's head to the back here. We can see we got that nice front end section up here. Got all the devices having fun, you know what I'm saying? Got all the chargers ready to go. Every time someone needs something, ready to go, here you go, no problem. Head back here, let's take a look at the lab. Really nice station set up. Everybody's working hard doing some repairs right now. They've actually been getting steady customers all day in here. You can tell that their reputation is very, very high. Everybody likes it when they come in here. I haven't seen a single person come in here with a sad face. Everybody's been super happy. And check this out. Full laser. And this right here, this is awesome. This is some next level heater right here. I don't know. I haven't seen this one in the shop yet. I know of it. I just haven't seen anybody using it. I'll tell you, I've seen people using the Regen one. I believe that one's a pretty good one. It's one of the Samsung official ones. But this one, you can fit all kind of stuff in. Definitely nice to take a look at here. And y'all remember what we saw on that other side. All that refurb stuff. Well, guess what? I know that some of y'all were like, well, they're missing stuff. They don't have all the gear. Well, guess what they do? They got everything. They're doing the big jobs in here. They're having fun. They're not scared of any of that refurb stuff. And, you know, the truth is, refurb is actually harder to do than microsoldering, believe it or not. So when I came in here and saw this, I was just blown away. I was absolutely blown away because they're already doing something much harder than the thing that they're trying to learn right now. So for them, it's just a few more baby steps, and they're going to be able to do basically anything they want in here. So with that being said, I do believe we've kind of taken a look at what we got in here, seen everything. We even got the polyurethane screen protector cutters. That way you don't miss a single screen. But with that, I think there's a couple questions that we need to answer, because I didn't just come here to show off the shop. I came here to answer some questions. So we will see y'all in just a minute, and we'll go ahead and get those questions answered.
By the way, if you don't mind giving me a minute or two before we move on, let's talk for a second. My name's Justin from the Art of Repair, and I'd like to show off some footage from the repair course I'm currently doing in the Netherlands. It's a culmination of all my channel content plus unreleased techniques and knowledge brought together in a start-to-finish type scenario where I make sure you don't miss anything important and you learn the skills needed to grow as an electronics repair tech, be it in my level 1 or 2 course or even in my level 2 to 3 bootcamp course. This right here, this is the Art of Repair course that everyone's been asking me about doing for the last few years. So, a little about the course. Like I said, there will be a level 1 and 2 course, which will cover the software as well as the proper staging and technique required to take apart and put together really anything you want. This basics course contains a surprising amount of fundamental level 3 training and science that I think that, most other schools just kind of leave out. I'm putting it all in there because I believe in teaching repair through a level 3 lens. It's a pillar of the Art of Repair methodology. Now, I think more interesting to most of you will be my level 2 to 3 course, which overlaps the last class with a primer on aspects of level 2 repair that directly correlate to your level 3 skills. You will learn the hand skills needed to complete most of the soldering repairs you encounter, as well as truly understanding why I think my techniques are a true art form. Alongside turning you into a soldering artist, you'll learn enough electrical theory to get you around town and back out again. You will be surprised how far understanding a few simple concepts will fully change your repair game. Honestly, I can't even wait to teach these courses because it allows me to be my authentic self and share with the repair community. I really hope to see you in there.
All right, so here we are. We're going to go ahead. We're going to get this question answered because, as you guys know, I'm not here just to show the shop off. I'm here to answer questions. Now, I have been here all day long. You guys know how I do. I like to sit at the shop. I like to talk to the people here. I like to find out every little detail about the business to make sure that the question I am answering is the question that they really need answered. But with that, the question that they did ask is actually a very, very good question, and I'd like to turn it over to my buddy over here so that he can ask it, and then we can go ahead and answer it so that everybody can learn something today. What do you got for me, bud?
Well, my question was actually how to tell the difference between good and bad tools in more advanced level of repair. Then I mean in terms of microsoldering, level 3 repair stuff. Yeah, using the more advanced tools, like I use normal tweezers, but they are not good enough for level 3 or microsoldering. You can use them, but it's not gonna work out.
Okay, so the question for me, just to kind of clarify it for everybody else, is moving forward past what they've already got going on here, because like I said, they've got refurbishing over there, they've got all the nice stuff over here, all of their level 2 game is really, really nice and everything, but what exactly are they supposed to be looking for when they are getting to that next level of advanced tools, right? So with that, you probably saw as that I went around is that they've already got a microscope, they've already got a soldering iron, they've already got a hot air station, but are these the good ones? Are these the ones that you should be looking for? Well, that's a really good question. So what I'm going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about a couple different major tools that you would be purchasing if you are trying to get your shop to that next level. That'd be your microscope, your soldering iron, that'd be your hot air, that'd be your power supply. And not only that, but we're going to talk just a little bit about the hand tools just to make sure that you guys are finding the right ones for you to move forward. So with that, let's go ahead. Let's start with the hot air station over here. Now, I do notice that we have a lot of these little A10 old school style stations around the shop. And for the most part, these are actually pretty decent stations if you just need to heat something up. Maybe you're working on a screen or something. And, you know, with what you have here, if I'm just being between a low end iron and a high-end soldering iron that uses something with a lot more, you would want to take a look at what actually is happening at your handle on the hot air station, right? So first things first, let's talk about the handle. If you have a a hot air station with a fan in the handle, that is going to be a much lower quality station. I would actually consider this a low tier station, okay? If you want something that is going to be a little bit more consistent, you're going to want something with an internal turbine that goes into the actual body itself. You can tell really quickly because they have a much thicker cable here. It's actually not only a cable for power, but it's also an airflow, right? There's an internal turbine on the inside that's going to push the airflow through here. Now, why is that important? Why is it that it really matters about the hot air that's coming out? Well, number one, consistency. Okay, when it comes to like an internal turbine based hot air station, they usually produce a much more consistent airflow, and they usually have higher quality electronics inside as well as higher quality heating elements. Okay, now I think this is one of those things where, like I said a second ago, you can do the jobs with this stuff. You can get everything done, but there is a major safety issue with these types of stations. So the deal here is, I was saying, watch out for the fan. The deal is you're going to be heating up this element somewhere between 300 to 500 degrees Celsius, and it's going to have to cool down. I've seen a lot with these stations where they actually start to break down at the handle themselves, and the fan will go out. If anybody has ever got online and seen a video of a hot air station catching on fire in a repair shop, go look it up. You're going to find that basically every one of them look like this. They have a fan in the handle, and whenever the sleep function fails or whenever the fan starts to fail, it will cause the sleep function to fail, which will in turn overheat here and potentially catch on fire. So we would say that this station right here is actually a low quality station, and that you should be looking for something with an internal turbine. The classic right now in the industry is the Quick 861DW. There are lots of different aftermarket units that are mimicking this right now. All of those would be a much better choice. The next thing we need to take a look at here is the actual soldering station, okay? So the soldering station they have here is the Asten ST100. Again, as I'm going to say with all this stuff, you can microsolder with this if you want, but there's a few things to look out for. Number one, we're looking at something called a tip to grip length, okay? The length from the grip to the actual tip itself, the longer that it is, the less stability that you have. This isn't on, is it? It's gonna be like one of those like It's gonna be like one of those smells like chicken. No, it's off. You know the stock image. You guys know what I'm talking about. The deal is you want to get closer so that you have more stability in what you're working on, right? And these kind of stations don't really give you that same stability. Not only that, but whenever you take these things apart, they're based on a couple things. Their heating elements are not built directly into the tip. So this is one for a JBC. This is all internal. So this heats up and it's part of the tip all at once, whereas something like this is actually air gapped, meaning that there's actually an insulation layer between the raw heating element inside here and the metal of the actual tip itself. That's going to cause heating loss, okay? It's going to be less consistent than if you have a higher end station. Now, in terms of higher end stations, when you look at something that uses like a T12 or a T15 tip, that'd be something like this. I'm sure that you guys have seen a lot of this stuff all over the internet, and you know, you would say, oh, hey, that's a microsoldering thing. You know what I'm saying? Well, it is. These actually are a much higher quality, and they have quite a bit more like precision at the end of them, and they're easier to change. Where something like this, you can tell already it's going to be hot. You have to unscrew that thing and change out your tip, or you have to have multiple different iron tips. That's a pain in the butt, right? So anything that's cartridge based, you can actually just pull in and drop in a new one, and you can continue on your work. It's an efficiency thing, right? Then we've got the JBC tips, or just micro cartridge tips. A lot of people are actually making aftermarket stations that are compatible with these. And the big deal with these is they generally have a little bit more throughput that you can put through them. And not only that, and I don't know if you guys can see here in the video, but the actual tip geometry between like a T12 or a T15 tip and one of these higher end tips is actually a lot more precise, right? So if you're looking at you know, when it comes to the soldering station, you're looking for precision and you're looking for proper thermo to go through and actually, you know, get the work done, right? Where with something like this, you might struggle a little bit. Doesn't mean you can't get the job done with all of them, but it's going to be harder to do with the other ones, right? So we know about the safety now for this one. We know about the heat transfer and the tip to grip ratio on these. Next thing we need to take a look at here is not the microscope. That's going to be the last one. We're actually going to jump over here, and we're going to take a look at this guy right here. I actually did not notice that this was in the shop until they brought it up to me, because it's so little baby in my... He knows. He was like, hey, we got this little guy over here.
It's only 1 amp.
It's only 1 amp, and that is a very, very important thing to bring up. 0 to 1 amps. I need somebody to name me a phone that can survive on 1 amps, okay? Because the big deal when it comes to a DC power supply is that it is supposed to replace all of the DC power that you would use during diagnostics, whether you're applying it directly to the board, or you're charging a battery, or you know, whatever it is you're doing, you want to be able to provide enough power and enough voltage for that. Now, for phones, up to 5 volts is great, but there's a lot of things that you're going to work on that may require more, right? So my recommendation is really any kind of DC power supply that's at least, I would say at least 30 volts and 5 amps. That's going to take you all the way to the end. You can basically work on any kind of consumer electronics with that. And what's important here is to note that 5 amps, what that's going to do is it's going to allow you to do proper short detection through, proper short detection through voltage injection. Okay, so the thing you got to remember, 5 amps at 30 volts. If you can find that with any DCPS, you're probably going to be good to go. Now, the final thing here is, actually this isn't the final thing. The next to final thing is the microscope here. Now, as I've said before, if you watched my video with my little brother at Dang It Repair, the only microscope head that you should be buying is a simufocal microscope. If you have a pull knob, Right here, it is only a trinocular, meaning it's 1, 2, 3. Then you have the ones that are binocular, and it's just the eyepieces. The reason we do a simufocal is so that you can see out of both eyes and the camera all at the same time. Okay, so really when it comes to anything else outside of that, it's really coming down to your base. It's really coming down to the lenses that you have on here. I see that we do not have a Barlow lens, so this is probably a 1X in here, which is going to give you much deeper depth of field, but it's going to bring you way too close to the work. You can see here that I don't really have much room to do anything with, and you can correlate that back here, because if this had a 0.5X Barlow, this would actually, I think this is actually at 100 millimeters, and when you move it up to about right here on these basic stands, it gives you about 165 millimeters of working room. What that does is it allows you to take your hot air and get in here and work on stuff. You see here, I'm kind of dinging and denting and getting in here, and there's not a lot of room to work around. Giving yourself that extra working room is going to allow you to basically see all of what you're working on, still get enough zoom to work on it, but more importantly, it's going to let you get in on your work. So simufocal with a 0.5X Barlow, and this I would change to a 0.35 reduction lens, so it's a little bit smaller. Okay, gives you a little bit better vision on there. And if you were going to upgrade the base on this, I would actually recommend a nice stereo boom stand, because then you can actually move the head unit forward and backwards. I actually think a very, very important aspect of microscopes is actually to take it off the desk right here. The reason I say that is because you can put phones directly up here and work inside the charging port, or work with weird things that are, you know, kind of a little bit bigger than your work area. Now, the final thing here, dun, 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 we were talking about hand tools, right? Talking about the show these people your nicest pair of tweezers. So let's compare those, and let's take a look-see here. All right, my man's got this nice pair of tweezers right here, but I don't think we're gonna really be able to see it too much. Let me see if we can. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be able to see too much, but this is okay. But the deal is, you can already see from the side that it's actually kind of offset. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk a little bit real fast about tweezers and precision. Okay, so if we look at this one and this one right here, we can actually see that the tips are much more micro. Okay, and the whole deal is that if you use a pair of, these are considered a level 2 pair of tweezers on microsoldering, you're actually not able to get in between the little components. There's actually nothing open here that I can actually touch. Dang it, there's nothing here I can touch. Let's try this battery real quick. Well, here's the deal. Some of these components you can't even see down here. Let me see if I can hold this while I'm doing it. This is the one time I really need the microscope camera. But if I'm in here trying to grab something with these right here, I actually cannot get between the smallest components. Okay, so when you're looking for hand tools at a more precise level, just as I'm saying all the time that you need a microscope for level 2 work, if you cannot resolve the issue with your eyes, you cannot resolve the issue for your customer. So if we're talking about more high precision hand tools, you need the microscope so that you can actually start to see this stuff. You see what I'm saying? Like, let's see what we got right here.
If you use them wrong or have the bad quality.
Oh, say it again.
If you use them the wrong way, or if you have the bad quality tweezers.
Oh man, this is. I'm actually really happy you just pulled this out. So it's also cool to distinguish between the two types of tweezers. So we'll talk about that in just a second. Deal here is though, once you're actually using your microscope for level 2 work, you can actually see the extent of the tools that you currently have. So the answer to your question on hand tools is, how can I tell the difference? Does it do the job you need to do very well? If it doesn't, you better believe that somebody's actually made the one that can do it. You just have to search it out. Now, I would be searching it out by literally looking up microsoldering tweezers, right? Microsoldering tweezers are definitely, somebody's definitely advertising it like that. If not, everybody should be. But like I was, trying to organize here while I'm doing the video, you know what I'm saying? But we can see right here that if we noticed in the microscope we were working on something and that it wasn't quite where it needed to be, we could go online and just say, hey, let's look for something a little more precise. Now, you guys will notice that, something like this probably costs you like $1. right?
Yeah, something like that.
Boys and girls, you are not going to get super high precision microsoldering tweezers for $1, okay? There's 2 different levels of microsoldering tweezers, okay? So this is a whole nother level than what we were just talking about, right? So you've got the level 2 tweezers, you've got basic microsoldering tweezers, and I would probably consider those maybe mass produced. That'd be something like these, just a mass produced pair of tweezers that have, smaller ends on them, but they're not really well designed. And you will get in the microscope and you'll see that one of the tips is actually bigger than the other tips. That is the most infuriating thing in the whole world.
Yeah,
if I get
that one is broken off a little bit.
Yeah, we were getting to that.
I was trying these out, and I don't know where.
On something wrong, on the wrong thing.
No, I was trying to grab an IC to test these out, but they
Oh,
weren't very precise.
fair enough. So, with that being said, if you ever damage any of your microsoldering tools, that is generally a sign that you are using too much force. Everything that we do in the micro realm is, I would say, the equivalent of turning a 1,000-year-old book page. If you're not putting that kind of effort or thought into the touch of what you're doing, you're going to end up with something like this. Also, do not do level 2 repairs with level 3 tools. We're talking about good tools for the right thing, right? That's also looking up what you need, right? So we've got these little level 2 ones here, but these also get better, right? So we can take a look here real quick, and we see that we've got these ones right here, and they're a lot higher quality, okay? And these are something that you can easily just look up and find. They've got nice serrated edges on them. They're very strong. I mean, you can definitely, get stuff done with them. You could probably pick up a box with how strong these things are. But if you did that with something like this, what's going to happen?
It's gonna bend.
Yeah, it's going to bend, isn't it?
And wrinkle all the way.
So if you're bending these, you're using them wrong. But moral of the story is, as you guys work, always remember that at least for hand tools, there are very passionate people out there who really love hand tools, who do make hand tools. And it's not just me. There's plenty of people all over the world who make hand tools. You just have to look for them, okay? And the way to know is when you're looking in your microscope, if the tools that you're using look basic, it's probably because they are basic. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So with that, I do believe that we covered basically the main things here. We know now that we watch out for the fan handle. We want something with an internal turbine, okay? Maybe something that has like an auto setback cubby, you know what I'm saying, like that 861. With the soldering stations, we're looking something with a closer tip to grip range so that you can get, let's see here. There we go. So you can get closer to your work, okay? When it comes to microscopes, we're looking for something that's simufocal so that you can see all 3 at the same time, because it is 2021. If social media is not part of your setup, you're not doing your marketing correctly. It is an essential, and you are not going to move forward without it. And I really, really mean that, because you're going to start to see shops that really care about their social media, and you're going to get people with charisma who are going to take all your business. You know what I'm saying? So definitely simufocal with a good camera on it. Make sure you get that 5x Barlow 0.35x reduction lens. You're going to be good to go on that. We talked about the DCPS, making sure that you get something that's at least 5 amps with 30 volts on it. And then we talked about all the little hand tool things and being careful with that. So I do believe that we covered most of what we need to talk about today. But I am curious. I have my own questions myself for you. Did you learn anything fun today? Did you have fun today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, tell some of the people what you learned today. Something fun.
Something fun. Like with the iPad repairs, like disconnecting the battery, just shifting the screen aside.
Okay.
Like that easy. Even if you, because at first we never thought about that, like shifting the screen aside. Because if you don't do that, how are you gonna disconnect the battery?
Smarter, not harder. I see a lot of people who are taking iPads and they're trying to sit them on their stomach and do this weird thing and go in there with their screwdrivers and stuff, and it looks intense. But if you just shift the screen, you can just get right in there. Speaking of iPads, I think somebody else learned something today about iPads, about cleaning out the glue. Can you tell the people?
About you have to...
This guy right here.
Yeah. Yeah, because when you're working with a knife and you go across the border of the iPad, when you're not careful enough, or maybe you made a small mistake, it can happen. You can hit the battery, and that's very dangerous and also bad because it costs money.
Yeah, money, fire, you know.
Yeah. So what this does, it prevents it for ever damaging the battery.
Right on,
It
heck
really
yeah.
helps me a lot.
Nice, nice. So, you know, a lot of the techniques that I like to kind of push across to people are not so much aimed directly at them. You know what I mean? Like sometimes people have been doing things for a very long time and they have good success with it and they don't damage anything. I totally understand that. I've got my own ways. You know what I mean? You guys know that for sure. I'm definitely shoving it down your throat all the time. But I always want to kind of think about things from a scalability standpoint. You know what I mean? And while you may know how to perfectly inject the perfect amount of isopropyl or the right amount of heat to do something, what about the person that you're training? You can't create a repair shop around yourself. You have to create a repair shop around scalability to be able to train other people and to have them be able to train other people, or you're going to end up being a slave to your own company. Do you see what I'm saying? So with that being said, I do feel like we've kind of covered a lot of this stuff here. Is there anything that you would like to say? Did you guys have a good time today?
Yeah, we have a great time with you.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. What about you? Oh, she's behind the thing? Did you have a good time today?
Yes, I learned a lot.
Okay.
That's most important, and also my colleagues.
All right. And by colleagues, she means whole family. This is an entire family-run repair shop. This is something that I personally love to be part of in here. Like just the fact that everybody has their own superpower. And it's like, you know, when you have a repair shop, sometimes, and this is through no fault of the whole situation, but your employees don't care the same way you do as an owner. Every single person in here has a superpower that they're contributing to the business at an owner level. And you guys can see it. It absolutely shows in every little small detail in this shop. And I can't wait to see what this shop does in the next couple years. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, turn on the notifications, share the video. You guys know I hate talking about all that stuff, but do your thing. Make sure you spread this out. I don't think that there's a really cool TV show for repair shops yet, so I'd love to get this thing out there and help some more people and travel the world. But outside of that, I will catch you guys at the next shop.